Hi everyone, my name is Lexia Nelson, and today I will be going over my Week 11 ISP remediation. So the first thing I wanted to go over was the exit HESI remediation. So on the exit HESI, I got an 826 with a conversion score of a 74.3. After taking the exam, I reviewed the rationales for the questions that I got wrong as those pop up at the end. And I found that consistently throughout, like I would say probably 90% of the questions, the main problem was that I second guessed, and it was because I was stuck between two answer choices and I did not go with the one my gut told me to. And then also for the ones that wasn't the case, I still knew the knowledge, like I still had the knowledge of the topic. I was just struggling with, okay, which part do I do first? Is this right? That kind of stuff. So overall, I would say that I did pretty good. I know I didn't meet the 900, but overall, I know I did pretty good, even though the score might have not shown it. So I think just being more confident and taking my time on those and not second guessing, that will help me for the next exit HESI to do better. And then, of course, the remediation is very helpful as well. Okay, then for UWorld, I did the self-assessment exam 1 for week 11, and it was 100 questions. I earned 163 points out of 209 points, and I got a 77.9. It showed I was at a very high chance of passing in CLEX. And then I did the New Gen quiz. It was quiz number 10 on UWorld. It covered endocrine, and it had 34 questions, and I got an 80%. And I have completed and submitted my 14 UWorld video notes. For Kaplan, I got a quiz average of a 63. So the first quiz, I got a 70. I got a 71, a 54, which I fell a little bit slight of because, we have to get a 60 or above. So I did a 10 question remediation just to kind of help. I got a 53 on that. Quiz 4, I got a 67. And then quiz 5, I got a 63. So the quiz average ended up being a 63. And that's including the remediation for quiz 3. For Pass Point, the topic was cardiovascular. It took me 55 questions to reach mastery level 7, and I got 45 out of 55 right. So that's an 81.8%. Now for my top 3 missed questions. This one is from Kaplan. So the nurse provides care to a client diagnosed with a blunt injury to the right temple. Which observation is essential for the nurse to make? So the reason why I put nausea and vomiting is because I know that that's very common with head injuries. Um, but I did not realize after, and now I know after reading the rationales that it's a later sign of increasing ICP. And I understand that pupil changes is definitely like a first indicator. That's why if that was an answer choice, I would have put pupil changes, but also increasing blood pressure, decreasing pulse, and irregular respirations may also occur as ICP increases. Slowing of speech is an early indication of ICP that's increasing. Other indications would be change in level of consciousness, restlessness, and confusion. So this one was kind of up in the air for me. I didn't realize that nausea and vomiting were late signs, but I definitely see why slowing of speech, because your speech is incorporated into your level of consciousness. If it's slowing, then that means that their level of consciousness is most likely decreasing. So that one makes total sense. Okay, for this one, this is also Kaplan. The nurse provides care with a radium implant. I've had a lot of questions about radium implants lately. It's asking what's the most important to take. So, um, I did not realize this because all the radiation questions I've been getting has to do with like exposure, teaching, that kind of stuff. So this one was kind of different, and this is something I haven't seen before. So I didn't realize that bowel movements could dislodge the radium implant. So this diet will increase the amount of stool if it's a low residue diet, because that includes high fiber. It will decrease the amount of stool. Oh, wait, my bad. Sorry. Low residue would be low fiber. So that's why the diet will decrease the amount of stools and number of bowel movements. Um, See, what I was thinking was because they are, stuck to the bed, that it would be acceptable to help them to the bed, or like, for them to get up to the bedside commode every once in a while, but it makes sense because they're on bed rest to prevent dislodging of the radium implant. So this is something new that I've seen that I haven't really seen before, so that's why I really wanted to include that. Now, lastly, this one is from UWorld. So it has to do with foods that are for hypoparathyroidism, so that has to do with low calcium as well. So I know that tofu, bananas, are good sources, as well as sardines. As far as um almonds are appropriate, which I wasn't really sure about. But rhubarb, on the other hand, rhubarb and spinach, because I used to think that spinach was great for calcium until this. It says foods high in oxalic acid, examples being rhubarb and spinach, can inhibit calcium absorption and are not appropriate for clients with low calcium or hypoparathyroidism. So this makes sense. I wasn't really sure as to why, but it makes sense now after doing this, and it was something also kind of new to me. I think I've heard about spinach not being good before, but I wasn't sure about rhubarb. But spinach also wasn't an answer choice, so that was just in the rationale. And then lastly, areas of and for improvement. So based on the exit HESI, I found myself also at some time and point trying to apply my clinical experiences and my experience as a PCA. And so I need to reread the questions if needed, but do not harp on them and then question it based on clinical experience. So I need to not, and another one is do not change my answer or second guess. I need to go with my gut feeling. If I would have done that on the exit HESI, I definitely think I would have met the 900 or even done better than that. So I just really need to try to be more confident, and I need to try to stick with my gut. I also saw that I was a little weak on the math, which normally I'm good on math, but I kept second guessing myself on the math. So I think I also need to review math as well, just to be more comfortable. And then just because the conditions expected findings occur does not mean that they are not concerning or life-threatening. I had a question like this, I believe it was on UWorld. It was a condition, and although, like, for example, we expect like, for example, with cirrhosis, we expect someone to have a lot of fluid buildup and everything, but that doesn't mean that it's not concerning, even though it's expected. So that would be a good example. Um, but yeah, I would say that that covers everything. Just finishing through, pushing through, and staying confident, and just keep on working hard. And I think I'll do better on the next exit HESI, and I'll continue to do well for the ISP remediation. Thank you.